I listened to 100 TED Talks so that you don't have to. Kinda. You see, I asked 100 strangers to give me a TED Talk on anything they want, and some of them were good, and some of them were, well...
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
This is too artistic.
Me and Craig just like MJG and A-Ball.
Welcome to the first ever TEDx Yankee Sam 11. This is a moment in history because for the first time ever, strangers are given 1 minute to give a TED Talk on literally anything they want. Now, in case you don't know what a TED Talk is, it is simply a series of talks created by this man named Ted, who states that the purpose of these talks is to inform and to educate. So, if you go to their YouTube channel, you will see talks on North Korea, bionic legs, Stephen Hawking. Wait, why didn't Stephen Hawking just watch the video on bionic legs? Anyways, hopefully that just gives you a basic idea of what we're going for, and so without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first presenter, who is going to give a talk on why
birds are really cool. It would be kind of cool if humans were like that. If people were kind of like birds and kind of like ran at the same time together. Or we just like chirp to each other, just like birds.
Isn't that just talk? Like, we talk to each other all the time, no?
But that's like talking with like words. I think if we could chirp a bit.
Caw, caw, caw. Sorry, you didn't get that? Bird language too hard for you? Well, don't worry. We got TED Talks in other languages too.
Abin Tire, Abin Taba Yabu Nabavavers. My TED Talk is about ob language, and it's a very good language because you basically put the ob before every vowel. I said, hello, my name is Deborah, and it's nice to meet you.
Do you think Helen Keller was real?
Oh my god.
How
did she write a book if she can't see and can't hear?
True! But my thing is, what made her so exquisite?
I don't know if she saw the humor in that joke, but I know sure as hell that Helen Keller didn't. What? I'm just being honest.
Being honest and being mean aren't mutually exclusive. Like, you can be so honest and it could be like the shitless thing ever. Like, oh, like, I think that person's like really ugly. That's so mean. And then it's like, no, I'm just being honest. Like, that's just what I think, no? It's not even like conventionally like correct, like morally correct, but people think like it's okay because that's genuinely what you think.
Time is up. Honestly then, in 2.5 minutes that you've known me, what do you think of me?
You were actually like so chill. Like, I would totally hang out with you.
Nope. Let me stop this TED Talk right here because this is not the video where I teach you guys how to riz.
My favorite boba spot in SD is Camellia Road. They do like monthly flavors and it changes every month, so it's actually exciting to go every month. I'm from Orange County with a lot of go to boba places, and that is one of the few places that is like on par.
I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Can I take you on a date to Camellia Road?
Sorry, no.
Close!
There's no place to get pizza.
Do you like pizza?
I do like pizza.
You can have a pizza in my heart.
Okay, enough with the games. Here's what the actual average TED Talk is like.
I'm gonna use this minute to talk about what I think might be the greatest, not only film, but piece of art of our generation, Kung Fu Panda. Poe's struggle with like who he is, his place in his life, what he wants to do. I think it's very real, and you can find that in a lot of cinema, but really, the way they do it is different.
Look, I don't know what you expected from this video. Did you really expect to learn something today? Well, you still can, you just gotta fast forward to this part. But for the most part, everyone just wants to talk about like their favorite thing to watch.
The Sing franchise, first season of Daredevil, Teen Wolf.
Korean Shinja. There's like this character in it that I love so much. It's like a little boy and he loves collecting rocks.
There's three main kinds of rocks, right? There's sedimentary rocks formed by deposition of sediment.
Or their favorite reason they're single.
I'm gonna talk about why One Piece is the greatest piece of fiction ever.
Some people may say One Piece, the greatest piece of fiction. I would differ. Dragon Ball.
1997, a man in Japan, Ichiro Oda,
Akira Toriyama,
had a little idea for a nice manga.
Made one of the greatest pieces of fiction that everyone still talks about today.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you why the best anime of all time, it's not One Piece, and it's not Dragon Ball, it's actually Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Well, that's like the one anime you've seen.
Or their hottest food take.
I love
Green onions, spring onions, spring green onions. You could use them for all sorts of things. You could put them in foods. Carrot cake is an underrated cake.
LA just does Mexican food a lot better.
Today I got an almond black tea.
Buffalo sauce on chicken is kind of confusing.
M&M minis are better than regular M&M.
Costco churros are like kind of bad.
I always get it like half sweet and less ice because low-key I feel like they kind of rip you off if you get full ice because they fill like all of the cup up with ice.
Last night I was air frying some buffalo chicken wings and it was so spicy. For M&Ms, the whole point is that they're crunchy with a little chocolate surprise in the middle.
I've only had like churros 3 times in my life.
To be fair, the packaging did not say buffalo. But with regular M&Ms, I feel like the chocolate overpowers that crunch.
First time was probably the Costco churros.
But like, I was kind of crying by the end of it. Cause like once that first like crunch at the beginning, then it's all chocolate. Minis, the ratio is way better.
Which kind of isn't like the typical churro you would get because it's like kind of thick and weird.
And compost.
And for some reason, people really want to talk about yogurt.
I guess I'll talk about my froyo.
I'm gonna talk about dairy-free yogurt because that is something I'm passionate about because I'm lactose intolerant.
There's a new flavor. It was guava, peach, and orange.
At the very bottom, we have Oatly mixed berry yogurt. It has a very low protein content. My second one is the So Delicious yogurt line for coconut yogurt. It has about 3 grams of protein, but the sugar content can add up.
I wanted strawberries, but it didn't match the color, so I went with peaches instead.
There's no way you picked out a fit for your froyo.
And my top one is the Cocoa and June yogurt, which you can get at the Whole Foods Market, and it's a little bit on the bougie side, but I think it has the vast macros and the best taste.
I think lactose intolerant people, it's just survival of the fittest. You gotta figure it out. We gotta eliminate this from the population.
But you're right. Not every person was like this. There were definitely some people who try to answer some really difficult questions.
If you think about it, how the hell did we come up with ice cream? Milk comes from a cow. How did that even work? Squeeze a couple udders.
Isn't that utterly insane? Hey, you know what else can be milk?
Tabby cats, orange cats, Siamese cats, Burman cats, many different types of cats. Yeah. Some other animals you only get one type. That's not a lot.
What animal is there only one type?
Dolphins.
I could talk forever about my cat. I feel like he's saved my life in a sense. I was very depressed in high school. In the middle of high school, I got him and my life was like instantly better.
They have a ton of kittens all for free on Craigslist. Some people advise leaving out food for your cats all the time. I would advise not doing that. Sometimes they can just overeat because they're bored. And you can see that by looking at them overhead and seeing whether or not their belly goes out or not.
What do you think about rabbits?
They're smelly.
Man, everything reminds me of her. I think I need help. Good thing this next section is called Advice I didn't ask for, except maybe I did because I let these fools talk about whatever they want.
Be kind to people. You're gonna always be a villain in someone's story.
You should work out.
Do what excites.
Shit sucks sometimes.
People need to be more willing to put themselves out there.
Everybody's so different.
Travel is the best gift that you can give anyone in the world.
Pick something that you'd like to appreciate. If you can learn to enjoy it, which you can learn to enjoy anything, you'll be happier in life.
Long ago, an ancient philosopher came up with a proverb. What is the sound of one hand clapping? Because they're like, you can't clap with one hand. But I propose to you today that actually you can clap with one hand. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
There's 2 types of people in this world. There's people who just wear regular socks, and then there's people who wear cool socks like me.
You're wearing socks right now? You're not even wearing socks right now.
Everyone should know how to take a derivative using chain rule.
What?
Subscribe, by the way.
I think I'm getting the hang of it. Anyways, as you can tell, most people just want to give a TED Talk on things they are passionate about, like Austen.
I really like Jane Austen. I'm from Austin, Texas. Pride and Prejudice, like it's been my favorite book for forever.
Round Rock Donuts. That's like one of the best in the country.
Or things that don't matter.
Alright, so Steph Curry. Here's why he's better than LeBron. Even though he's had like a little bit of help adding Kevin Durant, we just had a small upgrade from bum Harrison Barnes.
KD and LeBron should definitely join the Warriors.
I'm a fan of the Miami Heat.
Liverpool, my favorite team.
Carlos Sainz. I think he's a better driver than Charles Leclerc.
Things that do matter.
Hi, my name's Izzy. Welcome to my TED Talk on all of my friends.
So my friend group, I've known them since 6th grade.
This is my friend JD here.
I have a friend named Monique.
He's like, divine to us.
Really my best friend. We met first day of 6th grade.
She never really answers my texts and she's always late.
We think it's because of his mustache.
We were like the 2 like most little girls, and my parents were like, go talk to her, and then her parents were like, go talk to her, and then we sat next to each other on the bus, and we've been best friends ever since.
Those are all my friends.
Things with drive.
See, my favorite car is the M8.
has an N63 TU engine in it.
Power steering pump is in newer cars. It pushes power steering fluid to the rack and pinion.
Communism.
As a society, we've grown into such like a consumerist state. Brand name clothing is awful.
I like to promote secondhand shopping and thrifting.
People think that just because somebody else has something or somebody is becoming super popular, you have to buy it. That is not true. It just kind of monopolizes clothing brands, and it only allows certain brands to grow more money.
What % of your current outfit is thrifted?
Like 90. This is thrifted from Depop. This is thrifted from Japan. And my crop inside is a hand-me-down from my sister.
Just give it some thought and think about, do you actually want that, or is that just what we're being told that you should want?
B-list celebrities.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about why Taylor Swift is the greatest musician in the world right now.
Taylor Swift released an album called The Tortured Poets Department. Everyone thought it was gonna be about her breakup with Joe Alton because they dated for like 7 years. And then all the songs were about Maddie Healy. She wrote Reputation, Lover, Folklore, Evermore Midnights. She wrote all of that about Joe Alton. Like, she thought that was the relationship that was gonna like be with her for her whole life. And then she writes a new album and none of the songs are about him.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on climate change?
Actually,
I think everyone just needs to understand that J. Cole is a humble rapper. He did make a diss. He went back on it because it didn't feel right with his spirit, of course.
You kind of redact your diss, like, nah, like that doesn't really make sense anymore.
In middle school, I watched a Netflix documentary about beekeeping. I ended up getting my own bees after doing a lot of research. Bought a colony off of Craigslist. Super kind of impulse decision. I was literally keeping them in my backyard of like a residential neighborhood. You get into this meditative state when you're like working with bees, and you can hear like the hum of the colony, and you can feel their energy as like not each individual insect, but like a whole organism.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Why get B's when you could get A's?
Music.
Currently what I'm working on is a paper on Renaissance Spain.
I will give you some recommendations for music in Singapore. For context, I'm an international student from Singapore.
There was no Renaissance for music. Like, there wasn't really music in Spain at the time.
There's a song by a group called Misty A. Sloth called Take It that has a really catchy bridge.
Apparently Spain had hit like a economic crisis at the time, and music was seen as a form of leisure. So they were like, hey, stop that, no.
And every other hobby that could not fit into these categories.
Let me put you onto a little thing called meditation.
3D printing,
Powerlifting,
Snowboarding,
mountain boarding,
fishing,
rock climbing.
I really like plants.
Sit down on a cushion for like 5 minutes. It will make your month.
Squat, I'm at 115 kilos. Bench, I'm at 47.5 kilos. And deadlift, I'm at 125 kilos.
A snowboard with like 4 giant wheels, and then you're strapped in with a brake, and you basically just bomb it down like dirt.
You got your holds like your jugs, your crimps, your pinches. Your jugs are like the big ones, easy to hold on to. You got crimps, like the little small ones.
I made a bear brick, but it's more of like a bunny, and it kind of.
Do you like bunnies?
I don't like bunnies.
Do you like Judy Hopps?
No.
Raves, right? So it's a lot more than just doing drugs, I would say.
And we'll cut it right there, because you are not the heroine of this video. To be honest, dude, guys, we had way too many people who wanted to talk about themselves in their TED Talk. In fact, the singular most popular topic was the self.
Today I woke up. I went to Catalina Island.
I was going to major in nursing, but I decided public health.
I'm just really tired of everything right now. I don't know why I'm so tired. Next week we're starting boxing, and then I have gymnastics on top of that, and then I'm also doing ballet, and then I want to start going to the gym again. I miss playing video games, but none of my friends are online anymore because like life hit them.
If I think something's gonna happen in a story, I will just like flip to the back page, read it. Whenever I eat food from the dining hall, I never feel full.
I love this princess backpack. It started in high school when all my friends got like silly little kids backpacks. Every time someone comes up to me and says they like it, I'm like, you should get one. But nobody's gotten one. It has my favorite Disney princess, Mulan, right here.
That sounds racially motivated.
But again, none of these guys are the main character of this video. Heck, I'm not even the main character of this video. You are. Why? Well, because this is actually a game show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Guess Your Actual TED Talk. Yeah! The rules are simple. I'll play a clip from a random TED Talk and we will try to guess what the rest of the TED Talk is actually about. For example, if you get this clip,
My plan for the summer.
maybe you guess, I don't know, that he's taking summer classes at a community college, maybe a class like C++.
The community college, I'm gonna be taking extra courses. One of those courses is called C++.
Wow, what a remarkably accurate guess. Anyways, you see how easy that is? Are you ready to play now? Let's do it. Let's
What does it mean to be a mother?
Clearly this one's about like how to be a good mom or how much she loves her own mom. Something like that, right? Play the rest of the clip.
Why did women vote for Hitler when Hitler was so obviously anti-feminist? And the reason is because he was able to give women the most important role in birthing the new generation. So yes, we're relegated to the home, but we are the bearers of, we are the warriors on the battlefield of childbirth.
Bet you did not see that coming. Moving on.
There's a lot of pressing issues in the world nowadays. There's world hunger, there's poverty, there's homelessness. Well, you know, there is one solution that I proposed. I think it would fix all of this.
Okay, this could end in a million different ways, so I'll try to make this a little bit easier for you. I'll give you multiple choice. Is it A, raise minimum wage, B, universal basic income, or C, higher foreign tariffs? 3, 2, 1, your answer is locked in. Play the rest of the clip.
I say we eat the homeless. What's the biggest pressing issue right now? World hunger. You eat the homeless, you get rid of that. If you eat the homeless, then the poverty rate goes down. If you eat the homeless, homelessness goes down.
What? I never said the answer was going to be in the multiple choice. Look, this whole segment is unserious. Think about how I would edit this video. It probably wouldn't be that fun if all of these connections were super predictable, so just try to think of like the least likely answer and just have fun with it. Like if someone starts talking about how
Throughout the year, we fundraise for summer camp.
Then camp is probably a code name for some stupid pyramid scheme or something.
And basically, it's an organization that supports kids who have been affected by a parent's cancer.
Wow, I hope you feel bad. You just called kids impacted by cancer a pyramid scheme. Like, how bad do you have to be at this game to make a guess like that? You know what? Look, I don't know the answer to these next couple clips. I'll play the game with you. Watch how easy it is.
Currently, it's not doing too great. Ever since 2008, they've been in like a pretty not so great decline.
This one's about the Republican Party.
I'm gonna talk about the economy of Italy.
They have like periods.
Woman?
The ocean, because there are like waves, like sine waves and whatever when you use to model them.
Canada is in shambles right now.
Poutine!
Absolute evisceration of Drake.
Okay, this one's not fair. We already had the TED Talks on this topic earlier in this video. Anyways, this sounds like a good time to bring in the sponsor of this video, because if you like Drake, then you might like...
PrizePicks is a betting app where you can bet on sports. It's an easy way to make money, I guess. How much money have you made? Probably like $100, nothing crazy. Actually, now that I think about it, it's not profit. It's money that went back into PrizePicks and lost, and I lost it again.
Wait, so you're under?
Yeah.
Oh, you thought PrizePicks was the sponsor? Now, the real sponsor of this video is racism, because just like this video, that ish needs to end. Had you there for a second, didn't I? Okay, this last part is what you've been waiting for. These are 10 TED Talks that are actually kind of informative and don't need to be edited or cut that much, if at all, because these people were actually able to talk decently well. So yeah, here you go, the beginning of the end.
So when we're talking about morality, we can either go subjective or objective. Objective is kind of really dumb because you don't have an objective moral standard whenever you're talking with anyone. If you just set up like a subjective guideline, you can make objective moves like that. So I've heard a really nice analogy where you have subjective rules of chess. Like you just have the pieces, but no one's telling you what to do. But you subjectively create the rules, and from there you can make objectively best or worst moves if you wanted to. What most cultures and societies value most, like more than anything, is their own health and well-being. So you create that as your subjective standard and create morally objective metrics based off of that. You can actually go really far, and you don't need some objective moral standard, which is complete bull.
All right, you know what I really hate? I really hate the U.S. election system. You know why?
I thought you were about to say yourself.
No, that'd be... I could rant about that for a minute, but I'm not going to. All right, you know what? I was going through this difficulty, like, oh, who should I vote for the next election? But I realized that it doesn't matter in California for a lot of a reason, because let's say I was to vote left, right? It would be adding to a pool of certainty, right? Because almost certainly any political candidate is going to win who is left wing in this state. You know, if I vote right, it's going to do jack, I guess, because like, I don't know, they're never going to win. This is mostly to blame because of the US election system called first past the post voting. Basically, it's whoever gets the majority wins. Problem with this is it's the one you think of immediately if you think of a voting system, but it makes it so we are inevitably bound to a two-party system. This is because, let's say there are 3 candidates up on the ballot. If there are 2 candidates who are similar and one who is dissimilar, and the two, like, they are going to split the votes, essentially. They're going to make it so the less popular third party candidate is going to lose. This inevitably makes it so voters in the back of their head will always keep that in mind, and they will always lean towards the most moderate candidate, which leads to only 2 parties. This is why no third party will ever make it in the United States.
Universal healthcare. It's a very polarizing topic because a lot of people on the conservative side tend to be like, why would I pay for something that other people would use and not myself? However, that's not like really the issue. The reality is that, first of all, have you heard of the welfare trap?
No.
Okay. So with means-tested welfare, it depends on how much money you make or how much money you don't make in order to actually get any kind of benefits, right? Like, let's say you make like $1, $10 more than what the line is for means-tested welfare. You can't really afford like the stuff that they're taking away from you from welfare, but you also don't qualify for the welfare. So would the issue be like, oh, do we need to change the line of where we're putting means-tested welfare? Or should we instead invest in a public resource where you don't have to pour in so many resources to actually show that people are not making enough money, right? So for example, people talking about what if instead of putting so much money into the bureaucracy of people being like, oh yeah, let's make sure that you actually don't make enough money so that you can actually get the benefits from means-tested welfare. What if you remove that? All the money that goes to supporting like jobs that are just kind of like, you know, it's like red tape pretty much, and instead invest it in the actual healthcare and provide like a socialized option. Again, that doesn't mean that like there's not going to be any private practices. That just means that there happens to be one option that happens to be public in order to actually make it better.
In modern day, we've seen a lot of rise of diagnoses of autism, ADHD, and all these things, and people are always trying to say like, it's the vaccines, it's all these things, why are these current thing? This never was a thing when I was a kid, like a lot of older generations. Those people have always been there. It's just that we haven't been able to see them throughout history, and we've seen like, if you retro diagnose people from the past through like events and like how they were categorized by other people and documentations, we see that there's people with autism have been around since the beginning of humanity. Actually, the common occurrence of the idea of changelings found in like early 1500s like English literature, the idea that a child is switched with a fairy is actually just a child with autism most likely, or a child with Down syndrome, because they were considered inconsolable. They didn't seek comfort from touch. They wouldn't eat. And these are all very common traits found in young autistic children.
So there's this art movement called Dadaism. Dadaism is really funny to me because it's like the kind of art that you'd go into a modern art museum and get kind of pissed off about, like, why did they spray paint a blue line on this canvas? But it was made for that exact purpose, but specifically to piss off the bourgeoisie, because the bourgeoisie, art became such a commodity that there was a group of artists that, you know, saw that as impure, so that they sought to repurify art with absurdism.
So I just learned about this artist named Lee Bull. She's from South Korea. One of her artworks that I just learned about is called Majestic Splendor, and it was a bunch of plastic bags with raw fish in it, with decorated with like beads put onto the raw fish, like glued on beads and like flowers, just like very decorative. And basically it was meant to be like this long-term installation where as they decay, it would just become like really smelly and gross and like just sort of like wretched. But I wanted to talk about like the feminist meaning of the fish and the idea of like women being put outside of their natural environment, like into this plastic bag for like viewing pleasure and like all decorated, like that's the societal norm for women. And then as the fish is like decaying, it's like becomes more disgusting for people, and I think that sort of talks to the way that women are just like once they reach like past a sort of peak that society like expects of them,
they're just sort of thrown away.
Recently, I've been very, very into learning a lot about the women's Russian figure skating team. There's one team called Team Tutberidze. It's led by this lady named Eteri Tutberidze, and she essentially has these very young, like, Russian girls that are like as young as like 12, 13 out to compete in the Olympics, which is a crazy thought when you think about it, because your body at that point isn't even like near fully developed, and so they're like severely injuring themselves, and then they like lose this love for their sport, and it's crazy, and then they can't go back to it, and then she like throws them out after like 3 years. And there's also this curse, it's like the curse of the favorite or something like that, where like all of the figure skaters who are like destined to win or like thought they were gonna win their season of the Olympics, they lose. That one girl got the doping scandal. She was like doping.
I don't think that's good. I think that's just cheating.
I'm gonna talk about geriatric hoarding disorder. We are like developing a treatment for patients over 50 that have hoarding disorder, and a lot of the times they like have kind of inherited the hoarding disorder. Like I hear a lot of stories about patients where their like parents kind of like died and left them with like a house full of stuff, and then they just like kept going because they didn't know what to do with it. We like do little like psychophysiological measurements where we like put electrodes on their skin, and it reads the cortisol, like the stress levels in their sweat, and so we can like see how stressed they're getting when they're sorting through like their own stuff versus like stuff that they're not attached to.
TED Talks. Yeah. I like the way that you walk. Yeah. I like the way that you walk, but I don't know about clocks. Yeah. I got a clock on my wrist and it don't even tick tock. Yeah. Is this 60 seconds up yet? Because I don't even wanna bet that it's up yet. You know, it's gotta be like 72 seconds. No? Yeah. My guy Sam with the Adidas gray shirt on. B. What does that mean? I don't even put on.
Your time is up. I just want to see how far you go.
Okay, I lied. I actually forgot to film the 100th TED Talk, so I only had 9 to show you there, bringing our total to 99, which means we're missing a TED Talk. But don't worry, because I got a little friend just hanging out around the corner that, let's just say he has a very important TED Talk to share with you guys. Let me get him real quick. My name is Sam, and my TED Talk today is going to be about why Judy Hopps is the perfect woman.
Have you ever seen Zootopia?
I have.
That's the greatest movie ever made.
That's... How much time do you have?